Hi, Ujjwala, can you hear us?
Yes, Priya. Sorry for the delay and some glitches technical as usual last moment.
No problem. I request Ritika to make a formal introduction for you before you can, start. Ritika, please go ahead.
So, good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Pune Knowledge Cluster, I welcome you all to our talk series, Conversation with Women Role Models in STEM. First, giving you a brief introduction about our organization. Pune Knowledge Cluster has been established by the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India. It aims to bring together academia, R&D institutions, and the industries in and around Pune to address some of the challenging problems of the region through innovative means using scientific approaches and engaging high-skilled human resources. We host this monthly talk series as part of our Vigyan Mentorship and Scholarship Program, which is an initiative for promoting chemistry amongst young women. This program is supported by BASF Chemicals India Private Limited, and it is implemented by Pune Knowledge Cluster since 2022. Through this talk series, we aim to bring forward the journey of leading women in various fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We hope this initiative will inspire young women to break gender stereotypes, societal barriers, and encourage them to pursue careers in STEM. Our guest today is Mrs. Ujjwala Karle, Deputy Director and Head, Technology Group and Digital Twin Lab at the Automotive Research Association of India. I take this opportunity to briefly introduce her to you all. Ujjwala is alumni of Savitribai Phule Pune University, where she did her engineering in electronics. She started her career at ARAI as a research assistant and worked her way up to be the general manager. She has 30 years of experience in the field of automotive electric electronics controls development, evaluation, and implementation. Presently, she is leading the technology group, the digital twin lab, and the TechNovuus team at ARAI. She has been a part of the team that helped in creating the first electronic fuel injection system in India successfully installed in the Fiat cars. In 2017, her team collaborated with ISRO to successfully develop the lithium-ion battery technology for two-wheelers. Taken together, her contributions have been instrumental in advancing automotive technology, specifically in the Indian context, for ensuring vehicular safety and efficiency. She has more than 40 technical papers and a couple of Indian patents. Her talk today is titled An Adventure Ride in the Automotive Sector. Now, before we get started, I quickly will take you through some instructions for the session. We have a 45 minutes presentation by our guest. This will be followed by a moderated session taken up by Dr. Priya Nagaraj, our CEO. After that, the session will be open to the audience for Q&A. So please stay active on the chat box and use it for posting your questions. And do fill our feedback form, which we will be posting in the same chat box towards the end of the session. With this, I extend a very warm welcome to Ujjwala and invite her to take the session forward. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for the kind introduction, Ritika. Okay, so I don't have to introduce myself now. It has been introduced by them. Now I will tell a brief presentation about me, where do I work, about ARAI, and generally the thought process on technologies that we have been discussing about what we call it as a role of ARI in empowering and enablement of mobility as a whole. I'll share my presentation with you if it's okay. Give me a minute. I'm audible now?
Yes, you are.
Fine. Okay. So I'm Ujjwala Karle. I'm Deputy Director ARAI, working in the field of automotive. See, and as she introduced, I have experience of 30 years. So I was just going back in the memory of 30 years back, where automotive field was more dominant with the mechanical engineers and the typical actually a work culture of men. And in that conditions, when we entered with being an electronics engineer in the automotive field, it was something like that. Array, it's all about mechanical, it's all about going under the vehicle, working onto the vehicle where we'll be able to do it and what electronics has to do here with. And then we started a project called fuel injection, electronics fuel injection for uh, a vehicle, for a car, which was essentially used to be a mechanical carbureted vehicle. And nowadays, if you look into going ahead of 30 years, it's all electronics in the cars, all electronics in two-wheelers. The EV is coming into a picture. And then I say, oh, that's what not very wrong decisions to hold my career in the entire automotive domain. And when I represent that as an automotive domain, I thought I should introduce to you to the company where do I work. So it's not a company, it's organization. And organization has a role to play. It's not directly a government organization, it's an autonomous body which is responsible. ARAI by name is Automotive Research Association of India. So it talks about a research which is necessary to be done collaboratively for the automotive domain players. So the whole idea when it was established way back, I believe around 56, it is said 1966, but we started operation somewhere, I believe, in 68, 69. So more than 56-year-old organization, which is working or which has been initiated by the top automotive leaders at that time, talking about how the collaborative R&D can be done, how the infrastructure can be shared. Look at the leadership roles that they were played at that time, I think, as a point. How can it be collaborative? How can it be together? And how it can be having the common infrastructure which can be utilized by all players, irrespective of the companies they represent. So with this background, it started its operation way back. And it is today a leading research institute in automotive industry. It is also affiliated to the lot of government bodies or the ministries, I would say. Formally, it is under the Ministry of Heavy Industries, but it works very, very closely with Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. So if you can see all these vehicles coming onto the road, if they are BS6 compliant, they having crash NCAP certificates and all such kind of things, it's ARI who is behind it. It's a technical arm by itself for the government of India for all automotive matters. New policies to be looked into, the new regulations have to be built in, the testing has to be done, the validation has to be done in the Indian environment. All these things are being handled by ARI. Now, so what we say is we play a crucial role of assuring safe, sustainable, efficient, reliable vehicles onto the road, which we are doing. And it's by entirely, it is a DSR recognized scientifically industrial research organization. So it is a completely science-based or research-based organization having its own scientific objectives and deliverables. To enable that, what we have is a strong team of around 800 experienced now, I should say, and youth combined engineers, which delivers this. And it is well supported by more than 16 specialized laboratories and more than 4 center of excellences. When we are saying center of excellences, we work very closely to deliver. Center of excellences having together the expertise, the tools, as well as the objectives which cover up to the entire domain of automotive. So this is how it looks like. We have center of excellence in the area of green mobility, materials, powertrain, and so on and so forth. So while doing so, what it ensures, we believe, is empowering and enabling the future mobility case. Just trying to go further. It gives the integrated services. I don't want to go more in these details. But what ARI ensures about it is empowering and enabling the safe and sustainable mobility for the culture, India. And mobility case, when we talk about, is CASE, connected, automated, electrified, and shared and electrified is what globally people talk about it. But when we talk about it in India, is it something only connected? Why do we require connectivity? To ensure that we do have answers to the road traffic jams that we travel onto the vehicle. If we have the connectivity, can we find out the alternate routes? Can we find out the alternate paths? So connectivity to answer the road traffic conditions. CAA is not autonomy for us. It is affordable and accessible mobility for us. So when we call affordable and accessible mobility, you would say how many people would have the access to the mobility? Sitting in from Pune and the cities like bigger cities like Pune, he say mobility is a must for all of us. But practically the data shows across India only less than 30% people have the access to the mobility. May it be private mobility or the public mobility together. So that gives the opportunity to say that it should be accessible to people as well as affordable to the people. That stands for A in case. The S stands for safety. So do you know how much safety is very important for us? Number of deaths that happen annually because of the road accidents in India are more than 1.5 lakhs. And when we've had COVID days, when we're sitting at home, this 1.6 million or 1.6, 1.5, that kind of a death rates have asked us to sit at home. With this mobility based accident based road accident based parts, how we are still struggling to reduce the number of accidents and number of accident deaths there is a really key part of it. And the last one, E stands for not only electrified, but all the energy systems which are energy independent, which will give the energy independence to us, as well as they will be environment friendly. So driving kind of a sustainability part of it with environment friendly and energy independence. That's what ARI believes, and that's what we look into the perspective, what it is going to give us for next era when what we are together all, the younger generation, we are all dreaming about 2047 India, which is going to be the Vikasit Bharat or India at 100, where we have infinite youth connects, infinite opportunities to challenge this part. Just to give the reference, I just would like to play a small movie which ARA has prepared as a vision for India at 100. I'll just show it to you, look at it as a concept and try to grasp it. Priya, I hope it is okay. I'll just share the movie.
Sure, yeah.
Priya, can you see the video? Priya, I would like to stop here for my presentation as such. In general, I would like to have more interaction and question answers based on this, if it is okay with you.
Sure, sure. It's fine with us. First of all, thank you for taking the time to be here with us. It's a privilege to have you because you're the first person, woman, from the automotive space that we have represented on this forum. And in that context, we would like to understand a little bit about you to begin with. So could
Okay.
you tell us a little bit about where did you grow up and where did you study? And leading to what got you interested in this space? I'm sure ARAI, you got lucky at some point and fortunate to be part of ARAI, but I'm sure your interest in the automotive space probably stemmed before that. So could you give us a sense of what that experience was like for you?
Okay. Actually, I'm from Pune, raised in Pune also. I'm from Maharashtra, like Marathi school, local school called Huzurpaga. So those days, were the days that Huzurpaga is supposed to be a very good or very proud moment to be part of Huzurpaga by itself. We could see a lot of, it's a women girls school. Probably it is still the first school which is still live for the girls' education in Pune. It has a history of now, I believe, 125 years. So when I was in school, it was 100 years completion for the school, and we celebrated that. So we have, I think, for some time, when Indira Gandhi ji also studied in Pune for a few time, she was part of our school. Lot of great literates have been, and actors that kind, writers, poets are from our school. So, and from our era, a lot of people have been in science and technology domain. They're working very well in India, across India. So I have been a typical Punaite or Punekar for that matter. Priya, it might sound it funny or different for you, but that's what I am. And actually, I did my basic diploma engineering, and then I was really wondering in electronics. I was more interested in electronics since probably eighth or ninth. It was a new subject that time, and my uncle used to, he had taken admissions in electronics, and the all electronics gadgets used to tempt me to do something or other. So with this background in 11th standard also, I I'm student of Apte Prashala, which is again a very famous 11th, 12th junior college in Pune near Deccan. And Puga Vaidya was that time heading Apte Prashala. And during my school days, I was very good in mathematics. And Puga Vaidya used to be a very connected person with all mathematics related exams. Like Ganit Pradnya, it used to call scholarship exams and so and so forth. So I took admissions like all others in that time famous SP college. And he came to my house and said, why you are going to such a big college? If you don't get a focus, come to us. It's very good college. We will get a focus work. And I moved to Apte Prishala. Apte Prishala, post that, probably my batch would be earlier for a couple of years batch. Post that, today, if you look into Apte Prishala, is very highly rated 11th, 12th college till now also. And he used to always bless me, like, people like you, few people like you have made this change, that toppers could shift to the college and the college brand could be very big. So there also I could get electronics. And today, that time, my electronics teacher, she is now Cummins principal. So she was in 11th, 12th, my electronics teacher called Kelkar. Her surname was Kelkar. Now it is Khambete, madam of Cummins College, who's principal of Cummins College now. And with her, probably I got more attracted to the electronics and control systems. How can we change everything with software electronification and so on and so forth. And it was never in my mind that I will do only something on automotive. I was always thinking that I will do something on instrumentation and control side of it. And maybe my first job, which I could get from the campus, was something in Philips, which was Lodi, which is quite far off, right? So, and that I tried there, but it was not, I was not very happy. not only because of the distance, but probably the work that was given to me at that time. And then there came an opportunity, very accidental opportunity actually, in ARI. My few of my teachers were having connect with ARI, and ARI had a requirement of some temporary work in the research field. So I thought something in research, so let me try. So I came here. Uh, I tried working in 6 months, and I was not very happy, to be precise. Because there also nothing very concrete was given to me because I was working on a temporary project basis. And I was very lucky enough that time also that I got my boss as electronics person. Uh, she was Mrs. Madhuri Marathe, and I told her that I'm going to leave, madam. I'm not very interested to do this. Let me do something else. I'm not finding my pulse. She said, wait for 2 months. We're getting a very good project. And if you wait for those couple of months, I'll put you on those projects. She gave me the box of a lot of papers which she had got that time from US. She had been to US and she had got a lot of physical papers that time. So she kept me in a room, gave those thappi of papers and asked me to read all those things and be patient for at least couple of months. And in January, I joined sometime in I think August or something. I decided to leave in November, December, and she said, wait for 2 months. And in January, mid, we got the project of fuel injection of two-wheeler vehicle, fuel injection for vehicles. And then I said, nothing is there in nowhere in electronics entirely. It was only probably ignition system used to be electronics, or electrical for that matter. Used to be cranking motors and very basic. And how we are going to do that? And next 2.5 years probably was a very passionate work for me to convert the whole team, probably with the team. I was the youngest one in the entire team. 8 to 10 people tried to convert the entire mechanical system to the like electronics control systems. And probably in India, we could get the fuel injection system ideally on road was probably Daewoo 97, 98, 2000. Before that, we converted a mechanical Fiat engine or vehicle to convert it to the electronic fuel injection. We drove the vehicle from Pune to Fiat factory in Mumbai, Premier Padmini, it used to be that time. And that was real experience for me as a young engineer, directly getting the opportunity to work on the real project, trying to understand electronics, automotive. I was not knowing much about the automotive by itself. Whatever we would have learned in the college days at the initial days, nothing more on, it was more mechanical, nothing more on automotive. And then I got interested in automotive after doing this 2.5 years. And ARI took really a very leadership or very aggressive decision to form a group or department separately called Automotive Electronics Department. Look at that time, nothing was there in automotive electronics, and such a leadership decision to have the Automotive Electronics Department. And I became a member of that. And being a R&D, it has always given me very interesting cross-domain applications and understanding automotive by itself. So I learned a lot about engines. I learned about like 4-stroke, 2-stroke, then fuel injection, how it requires, then electric vehicles. You won't believe that in 1998 we had electric vehicle a hybrid vehicle converted. So we are talking about hybrid vehicles now. In 98 we had a small vehicle which we converted in a hybrid. The internal control algorithm was written by us. We have 2-3 patents around that. We had work on, then we looked at the challenges of the converters and real challenges, which now has evolved over a time to make a very matured electric and hybrid vehicles over time. So, which has given me a very different, I would say, exposure, which was ahead of the curve definitely in India and matching the pace globally, which is very important. See, that time the technological gaps were much more, bigger, and the connectivity across the world was lesser. So that's where we started, and it's going to be very too much of a probably overexposure, I would say, at that time, which has helped me to create the entire interest in the automotive field. So if you see, was I a really automotive passionate person? No. But I was more electronics passionate person, yes. But I became an automotive electronics passionate person once I moved in ARI. That's what a starting story for my side.
So sort of building on that, I think you have, being in AREI, you are in a very unique position to interact with a variety of automotive players. That includes in big industries, MSMEs, your startups now, many of them working in this space. Uh, what do you see as, I mean, do you see skill gaps? And I don't mean, I mean, we are still not talking gender, we are just talking in general. Do you see skill gaps existing in this space in the Indian context that we are unable to fill? Or do you think that we don't have a skill gap and this is actually something that curriculum education covers at the college level?
I would take it a little back end to it. Actually, this has been told to us as a ARI also by many industries that there has been a skill gap earlier. That's where actually ARI started its ARI Academy 20 years back. And there are a lot of and when we say ARI Academy, ARI never has been a degree granting university kind of a thing. But what it has collaborated with many and many multiple universities and colleges like COEP Pune, we have VIT Vellore, and so many, probably more than 10 active engagements would be today also. But what it really ensured that experiential learning for those students, because it was never very automotive engineering as a part, limited. It was more a majority as a mechanical engineering converted into automobile engineering. And there has been a gap that time, which was seen by the industry and recommended us to go for this academy. And we have so many success stories. I think we must have more than 2,500 alumni from ARI Academy, which are working in the industry today and at various senior positions because of the 20 years that we put in. Now we come to the current context today. I think current context is a bit more different and difficult to handle. I believe now there is no common engineering. Like, I won't say no, somebody is mechanical engineering, somebody is automobile engineering, somebody is electronics engineer. That is not staying at this moment. People have to be more a system engineer or a solution engineer. So this is a transitional change that I have seen in, because technologies are changing so fast and they are disruptive. They are making difference. They come in and they go back. Like if you can see me, I have evolved over electronics over 30 years, but what I've learned in electronics 30 years back is not the same. The core remains the same, but it's not the same. See, it has evolved, it has changed drastically different. The automobile has changed drastically different, but that has been evolution. Now it is a revolution. The things are changing so fast. The electronification, digitization, the technologies which are coming in materials as enablers. It doesn't mean that it is taken out a mechanical stream. No. There has been a false statement, according to me, where people are really moving to everything on a software part of it. But we don't want coders. We want system engineers. Uh, People who understand the system and who can solve the system challenges is what we need. And software is enabler for that for me. So if we know the system engineering, we should be able to deliver solutions. And if you want to say there is a gap, yes, there is a gap. But that is not kind of a gap, I believe, only in education systems. It's also in the minds of people, I believe, where everybody wants to go to software, everybody wants to, and then the mechanical streams are empty. But I believe mechanical, electronics, materials, they are the core teams. And they should, overall, the systems should be looked into. Whether it is automotive as a system, whether it is probably consumer as a system, or there is telecom as a systems. Everywhere we will require to understand the systems and their challenges, their technologies upgradation, and how we can solve those challenges and absorb those technologies to make our own solutions. So I believe what is really important today is solution engineering with a core strong basic engineering understanding.
So
And that's really part.
when in automotive industries look for skilled manpower or for the human resource, do they consider this as a very important element that you're looking at you're looking at understanding a system holistically rather than coming with expertise in doing one-off things in the system? How does the hiring of these because this is a very specialized space. So we have a lot of students on this forum, and hence I asked this question. I'm sure they're curious to know what is it that they look for?
Okay, I think they look for learnability, which is very important. And that's my message for probably all young students. They're not going to go ahead, they can't have their entire career on single part now. It's the transition will happen fast. So ability to learn, ability to unlearn, ability to learn new. Creativity, that is again a part. See, skills can be acquired, yeah. And I think automotive industry believes in this. But a good sound engineering knowledge, that is what people are talking also currently, the reskilling of staff. See, we have a lot of people, a lot of industry which has been ICE industry conventionally in the research. A lot of people are being trained, upskilled for the EV or electronification of the part. Uh, with a lot of people ask me what has changed from ICE to EV. Whether ICE is there, yes, ICE is there. But whether the ICE has now the charm, whether it has the glamour, probably no, the glamour has moved to EV, hydrogen, and so on and so forth. But does it mean that the core still my braking system remains the same, my chassis remains the same, my core remains the same? What has changed with the electrification is understanding from engines to motors, fuels to batteries, and their performance. So a lot of people are working on reskilling and upskilling of the existing people also, because what we'll do for them who are already there in the field and in their mid-careers, early career, post-career. So this is a need, 100% that reskilling, upskilling is necessary. But when we're talking about that, it will always be necessary. See, when I told about myself, I also upgraded, upskill myself all the time, because I can't remain with the same knowledge. It always becomes the stale. What I'm saying is the rate at which is happening today is much faster. So, and I think the new generation is also very fast. They grasp fast. They have a lot of exposure. But they should not lose their focus in the exposure, I believe. They should look into more focused efforts in basic understanding of engineering, core physics, core chemistry, core mathematics. I think mathematics is a key part. It will be for future. Particularly now, everybody is so-called very much focused. Everybody wants to do AI machine learning. I've seen a lot of mechanical people want to do AI machine learning. It's good. But when we're talking about AI machine learning, it's all about having a strong mathematics understanding. It's application engineering of mathematics. So it is applied mathematics for me. Then only you could generate then only you can generate your own IP. Otherwise, you just will give the data. There are standard algorithms. It will give some outputs. So it is much beyond that, I believe.
So the video that you just played was a visionary video in terms of where we want to be as a country. And it also emphasizes, that video is also made keeping the automotive space in mind. What was very interesting is there was a very conscious introduction of women in that video at various levels of this whole industry. And what was interesting is that this is part of a vision. Which means it's probably, we have not realized that vision yet. We are on our way to realizing it. So that brings me to the gender imbalance in this industry and workforce. So, what is your sense of what percentage of women constitute the automotive industry? And, and this is global. We both will agree that the numbers are less. You will, of course, give numbers. I don't know what the numbers are, but this is not an Indian issue. This is global. And has there been any effort to understand why this is the case? And of course, we do know that there are many efforts to improve it now. But has there been any efforts to know why this has been the case historically?
Okay. If I would like to talk about today more than history. History, I think, I believe the reasons were very clear in terms of it was automotive. That time, anyway, if you look into the percentage of mechanical engineers versus electrical electronics engineers, people would like to go to, girls would like to go to more electrical electronics than mechanical, than civil. So that was a very specific reason, having the percentage of mechanical engineering versus electronics engineering and so on and so forth. That's a history. If you talk today, I think, as you rightly said, there is not equality, but there has been consistent efforts which are being done. I know many companies, even OEs, international OEs, which claim they have more than 40%, or they're targeting 50% of in 3 years to 5 years. So 2030 vision, they have shown, many of the companies have shown 50% gender equality kind of a thing. And if you would be surprised, Priya, that a lot of assembly lines have women. And the reason is their sincerity, I believe. Uh, and it's not today. I know 20 years back, a tier one company in Chennai, uh, which was having an assembly line of carburetors and such kind of things, mechanical systems, which was filled with women. He said the girls are more and more focused, meticulous, sincere. They don't have like bad habits kind of things, and it becomes easy for them to handle the assembly lines, which were not so much automated at that time. Today also, a lot of, we could say, a lot of women in assembly line. Lot of, I've seen one company, I can't take a name here in public, but their painting, manual painting happens at the high end, is from a woman. That expert painting painter, I should say, is a woman. So it's not, has become now the glass ceiling for them. But the challenge remains, I think, at an entry level now, women do enter automotive domain also. However, the glory of automotive has shifted to automotive more, software more. So everybody wants to go software. That is different. But I think entry level, still we can get a lot of women. The challenge remains that whether they continue further or no. And the reason for that, we all know that I think the work-life balance, their prioritization towards the family, once taken a gap, ability to come back. I think it is not only in automotive, in general, everywhere the challenge has been, because of the probably competitions or the numbers that we have, that once you take a gap, it's very difficult to come back in the competitive age. The competition system tremendous here. And that's where probably women are lagging behind a bit on this. And hence, I believe to move further, building a, I always tell in my many of the interviews I've been talking about, it is building a support structure for you is something which is very, very important. I always say today what I am here, I can do my job morning 8 o'clock to probably 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in a whole day is because of my support system that I do have at home. And the support system could be my mother, my mother-in-law, my husband, the boys which come to maids which come and help me out and all that. So the pick-up and drop services of auto rickshaw, of a driver, everything is important while we are doing this. And building that ecosystem and support system is important. I think it should be the concept of leaning where the senior women should be able to support women. Because I always believe that what was not there when I was young, am I able to give to the younger generation? Am I giving to option, exposure to the younger generation? And that is the key. And I think the younger generation is vocal enough, but I believe the prioritization becomes challenge, and they live in between, and it's very difficult to cope up once the gap is taken. That's a key part here. We don't have a great ecosystem where people can come back very easily after a gap and cope up and compete. Also, the competitiveness, like women women are not so competitive when it has to go to in the higher scale or the leadership positions. That's also the fact.
So how much of that do you think is lack of mentorship or access to knowledge on how that can be done? Do you think there's enough mentorship in the automotive space for women in early stages of their career?
I think with the current practice, it may not be very positively practiced.
Hmm.
But if women are vocal, they do get mentorships. That I don't think it's a challenge to get the mentorships because of the access that people have. But probably it is not very structured way down, the way it is done in IT industries or
Yeah.
software industries. It's not very structured way handled.
Hmm.
That's what I would say.
So again, coming back to this, the fact that you have the privilege to interact with so many organizations, you also collaborate with them, as in a lot of your work is collaborative. And we all know that the hardest thing to do is to get a bunch of people to work together and to get something out of that collaboration, something meaningful. Can you tell us a little bit about how do you handle unconventional collaborations, tough people, and how do you sort of bring them together and get them to see collective value in what they do? Because the reason I ask this is I know that you collaborate with R&D, with industry, with MSMEs, and a whole bunch. And you're also into the R&D space. So it is, it's not that everybody there is just to manufacture and release something. You're also exploring what can be done in the coming years. So could you talk a little bit about what does it take to build that collaborative network ecosystem, and how do you get work done?
Uh, I think first is the ability to believe that we are towards solution engineering, the way I said. And it's together we can. See, the things are changing so fast that if we decide that everything has to be done by me and myself, or a team of our team and our part, it's going to be practically impossible to do that. And to do this, then we have to really build in the synergies. Synergy is very important. See, it should be complementary collaboration. If both have the same aspiration for the same work, nothing is going to work together. See, there has to be complementary work, which will give us a common aim or a deliverable, which is very important. Like suppose I'll give example of say safety, which is very commonly known for all of us. But if I decide that all safety related developments will happen in ARI, it is not practically possible. But if I'm saying all only OEs and tier ones are going to do it, it's also not possible for them. So if we have to have the that is where that entire ecosystem of startup has started with the part that everything cannot be done internally, and you cannot hire everyone and make them work in the boundary of the definition that we want to, rather than keep people free with the challenges you are facing to solve them, make them solve. That becomes much easier way to handle it. Uh, when we write solution as a word, nobody has that solution uh, by themselves. Somebody has S, somebody has O, somebody has L. If we put together to make that puzzle work, then only it is going to work. But at the same time, too many parties, too much of a collaboration, or like 8-10 organizations working together and delivering always becomes a challenge because everybody has different aspirations to do that. I don't mean that it can't be done. On the bigger goals, it has to be done. But on the smaller goals, I think 2 to 3 organizations which are teams which can complement and deliver work better.
Yeah.
And that has to be seen as a space of synergy. And writing down right interfaces, good project management, uh, clear definition of expectation from each other. I think these are the key parts which we have to, and respecting each other. That's the see as not only as organization at any level. I think respecting each other for their work and for they are like as humans, as organization is very important. If we start doing this, I think people fall in line. They like to be respected. They like to be seen as a value addition proposition for the entire ecosystem. That's what I believe ARA has been working on these domain, and that's what I personally believe in collaborations that I have worked in. And as you right said, that tough people do come in, but clear definitions, clear understandings make it happen. Sometimes I don't want to say that every time I have been successful. With tough people, sometimes we are probably have to either eliminate or bypass or whatever XYZ. But this is what we have to really handle. Yeah, you should be knowing at your position also how the tough people come around us, and we still have to tackle with them with the same smile that you have. So that's a fact. Whatever is said is so simply, it's not so simple to handle.
Yeah. Also, no journey is without its challenges. I think you spoke a lot about the good part about your journey. I am sure you've had your setbacks and your, challenges that you have faced across your journey of being here where you are today. Maybe if you can talk a little bit about what that was like and how did you overcome some of that?
Okay, I think you said it right. See, everything would have been a monotonous and a uniform without any challenges. It would not have been for fun. See, uh, finally, in entire journey, you should be able to enjoy the journey. When we are really going to climb Himalaya, it's not reaching at a Himalaya top is important. Uh, it might be important for someone, but I think what is important for us, all of us, is in making that journey enjoyable. So the travel from a base to the top, we might fail, we might succeed, but if we can make that journey enjoyable, that is what is very important for us, all of us actually, and that was the same case for me. Uh, because otherwise the stress will kill you and you will not be able to do anything. So things have to be taken as they are, and that has happened. That has happened. That will happen in everybody's life. I don't want to say that it's not something very goody every time. But what happens as it is probably has to be taken in a positive respect with say, it's a challenge. It also tells you this is not the way to do, which is very important for everyone. Like for me, it is very important that experiment uh, and move ahead. When I say move ahead, it can be this road is crossed or easy to fast to fail.
Yeah.
Fast to fail, change, find out another path, look ahead, go further. That road is closed. Let's look into, find out is there any other road or my entire target has changed and shift myself. So I would, it's not actually the internal story of ARAI. I don't know whether I can share too much openly or no, but we started doing a Vision 2020 in 2010. And we did an entire roadmap 2020 and created projects around it. And you must be aware that ARI is not, though we say it's a research organization, we earn our own bread and butter.
Yes.
So for us, the money comes first because we have to earn our salaries finally,
Yeah.
So when we're doing our research programs and putting it forward, we hired people directly from campus, trying doing the things. And then we decided let them be with the domain people so that the domain people are responsible to deliver. But the domain people have their own other deliveries connected to them. And, we ran and we failed miserably, actually. We couldn't really create the impact out of it. We could have completed few projects though, but we couldn't create an impact out of it. So, and it took quite a good amount of time also because it's a procedure altogether. We have to shift, we have to change, shift left, look at an entirely different perspective, different thinking, how to mold, how to give the KRAs. That's how actually the technology group was formulated because it has become over a time not a single engineering, it is a multi-threaded, multi-entrant engineering to solve the problem.
Yeah.
So if we said you are leading technology group, the tagline for technology group is to endeavor to engineer the solutions. So that endeavor word talks about passion. Engineer word talks about actually doing the engineering, not jugaad. It's engineering and solutions, as I said. So that was the start of a new era for ARAI to do it. So I'm telling in a very mild language, but it has become a very big setback for me on a different format. It's not a project, it's a thought process setback and different way of looking at it. When I started technology group also, we worked to a level, developed a lot of technologies, looked into a common cross-domain people, have people from mathematics, electronics, software, mechanical, materials. The whole team works with me. You remember, we have done recycling workshop for batteries. I've had people who are doctorate in materials. So all these people have different aspirations and different uh, expertise. To tie them to in a single line or single thread to make a good uh, mala of it or good garland of it was not easy task again for us. And it takes time, research, innovations, how much is the success rate that we do have. And something, unless it goes into the market or the deployment, the success cannot be measured. Anything remains in the lab doesn't have any meaning. So I strongly believe in 4 eyes of innovation, where 4 eyes of ideas to implement, to innovate, to create impact. So somewhere many of the projects fall down in either of these cases, and handling that at ARA level, accepting those failures is not so easy. I could see one of the examples where early days of my lithium-ion batteries, we were doing lithium-ion battery vehicle, and ARA was not having the facility that time to do the charging and so on and so forth. We put it as charging. I came home from, I think it's must be a 10-year back story. Came back and we had to keep the battery and vehicle for charging in that workshop. Couple of days after, some minister was visiting and we had to showcase that vehicle to the minister. Look how we have worked on a technology which is advanced ahead of time. It might be 10, 11, at least 10, 12 years back story. So this was all done, set, everything. Tomorrow we have to get the vehicle back, create some good decoration and show it after 2 days there. Something happened there and it caught fire. The entire EV was burned. Entire EV was burned. I don't know how many of you have seen lithium-ion fires. It was a major setback. It was very difficult for me to get it handled across the area also. See, as a leader, I have to take the responsibility. I was not heading the department at 10 or 12 years back, but I was a project lead for that. It was very tough time for me to create, understand, make people understand how it has happened, even written apologies and so on and so forth. But I look into it that after that, I got opportunity to work with ISRO on lithium-ion batteries. And the space technology can be bring it to the automotive. It was very interesting, but I could get it because I have failed in something and I understood what not to be done. And ARA has been also kind enough to tell me that, okay, you have failed in somewhere else, but you look at this as an opportunity if you can do that. So I also would like to thank the overall ARA management that time, that even though such things have happened, because they are all R&D and technocrat people, could easily understand, believe. But it was not very easy for me to, as a looking at a technology failure. People failures, I've been telling you that it's very, very deep, many situations where we have to change the path and take a new path and try to get the goal. I still would like to say it has been an enjoyable journey, and overall we all have to really look for that journey to be enjoyable. That's most important part in the life, I believe.
We have a question which has come to me directly, that if women automobile engineer or degree holders, engineering degree holders, are interested in internship opportunities in ARAI, is there a mechanism for them to apply?
Yes, I think currently under we normally also do that internships, but through a TechNovuus. I didn't talk about TechNovuus, Priya.
Yes, please do.
So TechNovuus is a platform. It's a digital platform. You could see behind me. I don't know whether you can see behind me the TechNovuus, but TechNovuus is a platform where you people can register. We do a lot of innovation, entrepreneurship, as well as internship programs under the same. It's a digital platform with a tagline of synergizing technology and innovation. So this gives opportunity where people can post real problem statements in automotive. A lot of industry-led problem statements and challenges are run through this. We also run few of the webinars, knowledge initiating sessions under this. But beyond that, we also offer internships under TechNovuus. So TechNovuus has, and they normally open up. It was recently open up. I don't know whether it's closed or no. If you look into ARI's LinkedIn page, there was advertisement of our registration of TechNovuus internships. We give internship. We also give paid internships under TechNovuus. So 3 months, 6 months, masters up to 1 year also. But it is on selection basis. We run exams, we run interviews, and then we allow you to work. And good thing is they are allowed to work on live projects and live programs. So they are very important things. I think so. Anybody who is interested can register to TechNovuus and come back by passing all the levels, of course.
Right.
But yes, we do give internships.
That's great. I request people to raise their hand. If you have a question, we'll be happy to unmute you. You can introduce yourself and ask Dr. Karle your question. And while you do that, there is another question to me on the chat box, which is, it seems like you do manage a large team. Could you talk a little bit about what does it take to lead an interdisciplinary team, and how do you manage a team with expectations, and ensuring that they are able to meet their deliverables?
I think the role of leader for me is to make leaders, simple language, but giving a vision and ethics or the values. So 2 V's as a leader should be able to give to the team. One is a vision and second is a value. And then the second part is rather than I do believe managing and leading are 2 different entities. Managing is doing the doing the things right, and leading is doing right things. That's what I believe. And if we have to do this, that is what the leader's role is. Leader has to give the vision and value to the team. And they should be able to generate leaders, make the leaders. If you can generate the leaders, you are a successful leader by yourself. You should have leaders in the team who will take the responsibilities of smaller parts. See, leader is not someone who is sitting on a top. Leader is at every workspace there has to be leadership. Somebody who has an initiative, somebody who is able to take up and take along people, and ability to take the responsibility of delivery. And that's very important. And that's where we require to have a motivation. But motivation, again, I believe has to come from within. What we can give is a mentorship. And then I believe if you believe in people, they will believe in you. See, if they succeed, it is their success. If they fail, it is our failure. If we go with this part, we give freedom for them to operate. And if we give the freedom to people, they can deliver the best. Because if we try to do the micromanagement for everything, it is not going to be successful. Then we need only hands. If everything has to be done, we need hands. And if we need hands, they can be replaceable. But if we need brains and passion and ability to deliver, we have to give the freedom to people to operate and work. We have to give the directions and the responsibilities which they can own.
We have another question about, according to you, in the next 5 years, what do you think is going to be the biggest revolution in the automotive space?
It's a difficult question. I'll tell you one thing why. It's today automotive is under such a dynamic revolution, or it's dynamically changing, revolutionizing the mobility by itself. Let's say tagging only one technology to it is very difficult. But a technology which can solve our challenges is the winner, will be the winner. it is, as I said that time, so it is energy independence, environment friendly. Uh, it has to be accessible to all, accessible and affordable to all. If we can reach out to people who doesn't have access to mobility, which is very important, which on the urban sector, which can solve the challenges of traffic jams in the peak hours.
Yeah.
So all these is very important for us. And the solution cannot be one. There are multiple technologies which are coming in and which will change automotive technologies quite a lot. It could be a connectivity, 5G connectivity, V2X kind of applicability, functions like ADAS, which are coming up and changing the parts. On safety benefits, there can be a naturally electrification, what we are talking about it today. So there are alternate fuels, biofuels, which are coming up, hydrogen coming up and trying to make a pace. But each one will have its own space because it's a big space. And they still all will be running in that space. No single technology will come or emerge as a winner, as I believe. Everything will be experimented. But finally, what we are looking at a long term is safety and sustainability. 2 zeros, what we talked about. Vision zero and carbon zero. I think that's what is the aim on a long term. And all the technologies which we can solve these problems of vision zero and carbon zero, they are the technologies which will be upcoming. And time will only give the answer. And 5 years is very small actually for me to get that answer.
We have a question about what kind of support exists for startups in this space. Does ARAI offers help to startups in the automotive space, and in what way and form?
I think as ARI, TechNovuus is, of course, you can register to TechNovuus as a startup. It's free registration at this moment. Therein, if you require any specific connects or in terms of tool, in terms of mentorships, you can reach out to TechNovuus once you are registered. Through TechNovuus, we also run programs called Uptake, which was technology upleveling program. So when we say technology upleveling program, again, the thought process comes that innovation is normally very small, and we have to, on that innovation, people have to build the products. And somehow all startups believe that it is B2C as an innovation rather than B2B as an innovation. But yes, there is a bigger requirement in B2B innovations also. And from a small innovation, we have to create building a product around it. And that attribute setting is very important, and many times people believe it's very simple in write down steps, integrate something, get a vehicle and get it tested and certified, give me a vehicle which is tested, give me a machine which is tested. It's not so. It comes with a lot of verification, validation, integration. So technology upleveling program Tech was something like that. If you are at TRL level 4 or 5, TRL 4 or 5 talks about lab level validation has been done. Further to that, making it happen as a product, we require a lot of attribute setting, a lot of mentorship, lot of validation support across the activity so that we reach to the TRL 7, TRL 8, where we can connect to the industries other, or you can go yourself in the market and so on and so forth. So this TRL 4 to couple of TRL increased support was given by ARAI through Uptake program to the challenges that we had listed at that time and looked at it. But the technological support and feasibility reports, technological guidance, that is what ARAI offers through TechNovuus. It also, if you are do want any testing across ARAI for startups, we give certain discounted rates to all testings, to all startups. It's nothing very different to parts. So that if you're registered startups, you can write it to us while you are availing any service. Once it is verified, you get that startup discounts in any of validation that we do have. And beyond that, ARAI also has its own sectioned company called ARAI AMTIF. So it is Advanced Mobility Research Foundation, Innovation Research Foundation, AMTIF, ARAI AMTIF, which works as an incubator to do a lot of very focused to only automotive. We don't automotive and mobility sector as such. So they offer incubation programs as well as they offer different grants as normally any incubation would give. Like they are supported by DST, they are supported by, I think, uh, this Maharashtra state innovation programs and so on and so forth. So they run those programs for funding requirements also. But it's a different entity, but it's ARAI's Section 8 company, which ARAI supported or promoted Section 8 company, through which also we can reach out. So they run their different programs, and people, any startup is open, they can connect with ARAI team for that.
Okay. We have a question. This is something I didn't ask consciously earlier, but we do have a question around this, which is what are some technical challenges that you faced as a woman in the automotive industry? And do you have advice for young women for pursuing careers in automotive spaces?
Oh, I personally believe, I'll answer second question first.
Yeah.
I personally believe that women have better opportunities in automotive today. I'll tell you why. Because empathy is going to be the key part when we are doing any product development today, tomorrow. As automotive, we are talking about automations, we are talking about customer experiences, we're talking about parts. It's empathy is a key part of it, and I don't want to say it's main women as such, but empathy is typically womanhood characteristics that we have. And any product development with empathy would have much better perspective, I believe, in the future developments. And that's where women will have womenhood will have definitely a stronger role in coming up solution development, I believe, because it's very easy for a woman to, or womanhood to go in that pace of empathy, going in somebody's shoes and look at it, how it would look at it. So empathy is a key part where womanhood will change the designs for the future. And that's where women should, with empathy, should go in this part. Now coming to technical part, I have been lucky actually, I would say. I never felt any class ceiling here. I never felt any challenge in terms of being women. See, being women only probably initially, rather than women, I was electronics engineer. I was not very used to going under a vehicle, looking it from bottom, how to do it with it, such kind of things. But I think I never found very, very difficult as a man-women difference. There has been difference of opinion. There have been tough people around, but I never think it was separated because I was a woman. And as I told, my first boss was a woman. So that has helped me to do that. I understand everybody may not get that opportunity to do this. But I think lean in is the way to go in. And each senior woman has responsibility to it for the younger ones. The younger ones have to come together and work for it. The challenges are everywhere. It's not automotive. And with our society, we might feel it's more for women, but it is for generally for all, actually, if you look into. There could be some challenges people are talking about. Technically, women can't do this, but I think no more it is the burden or the bifurcation is being looked at. So I think there is no challenge, I believe. People should go in automotive. Automotive is a field where a lot of creativity can be handled, a lot of designs can be looked into, a lot of work, challenges to be solved. So anybody who is interested in doing an engineering field, rather than sitting and only coding, I think should enter engineering automotive field. In automotive, also a lot of coding happens, all softwareization has happened. Tomorrow's trend, somebody asked, is software-defined vehicle. It's a trend that we are talking about.
Yeah.
It might come in very fast.
We do have a related question on that. Somebody wants to know what's your opinion on Tesla cars and their future in India.
Okay. Since there has to be a Tesla for India. What do you mean by it? Tesla is an amazing car with the technology that we have. It has been running globally and doing extremely well also. But we have to have the adaptation of Tesla for India to become a Tesla for India. And that's very important.
So what do you mean by that?
See, I don't want to go too much of a technical,
That's
Priya,
okay.
but
Yeah.
if you look into their designs, are they suitable for the Indian roads? Uh, is the power that they're talking about is what is needed on the Indian roads? Is the cost they are talking about is inclusive for the Indian people? I will restrict at this moment to these 3 points, but
Yeah.
basically, is it suitable directly for Indian market as such?
Yeah.
So there can be 10 Teslas somebody can buy and run it in India and so on and so forth. But probably the product, that's where I say technology can be global, but the solutions have to be local, you know. Solutions have to be local in terms of what is the need of Indian people, what is that can be sold here, what are their challenges, how can it be? It has to be tuned. The technology has to be adopted to look into for the Indian markets, and that then it will become a technology for the masses.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be in a silos for few people. That's not what we are looking at.
Yeah.
It will be the technology which will influence for the tomorrow's world. Right.
Good. I think we've taken all the questions that we've got on chat. I was very surprised when you used the word empathy in the context of a space which is so mechanized and automated and machinized. And the fact that empathy does play a role is very good to know. I think it's a very universal value. And I'm glad to see that you emphasized it in the context of your work. We always end this series by asking by two things. One is, of course, a group photo, which I will ask everyone to switch their cameras on for, which we will take. But before that, we want to describe what a day in your life looks like from morning till the end of the day.
Oh, you really want to know that? It's a tough day. It's a tough day. I start my day at around 5 o'clock in the morning. From 5, some normal basic things. My daughter goes to school. Then 6:30 to 7:45, I do my exercise. From 7:45 to 8:30, I always become late to the office nowadays. 8:30 is my office time, but I reach around 8:45, 9 o'clock. Traffic kills me. It takes away my time. So 8:39 to 6:30, I'm in office. Too many meetings, too much work, people, guidance, mentorships, projects, reviews, all this takes my time in the whole day. I close the day around 6:30 in the evening. In the office, go to pick my daughter, spend some time in car with her. I drive, we discuss few things. So spend some time with her, reach home around 7:30, 7:45 in the evening. Then we had normally together common dinner, the whole family members. Then I spent some time with her, some with family. Then I spent some time in reading, compiling the notes for tomorrow, learning something new in terms of technical matters or something which on weekends normally I follow some hobby related things, but on weekdays I think I go more on technical work, technological updates and such. Normally I don't do too much of office work at home, but of course the calls, some deliveries which are I couldn't make in the office, that's small work. But otherwise, which helps me to compile, like uh, disseminate what I have really, what I've gathered in that day. Try to get something new, different. Reading and music has been my passion. At least half an hour I spend for myself. Then I do some meditation and sleep.
Great. And with that, I thank you very much, Dr. Karle, for taking the time to be here and inspiring all these women and some men who have joined this forum today to listen to you. I request all of you to briefly switch on your cameras. We'll get a quick group photo before we close this session. You're done? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you once again, Ujjwala. And
thanks, Priya.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks.
nice day. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.